So an Attack on Titan live-action film is actually happening. Here in the States, it is happening as a Hollywood project, and it has a director tied to it. The director of It, which, as of right now, I don't even know his name. But I like It. I thought It was a good movie. And I'm excited for an Attack on Titan movie because I feel like, as of right now, they're taking this project seriously, which is a really good thing. I'm so tired of Hollywood grabbing these poor directors to handle these big projects. Look at Ghost in the Shell. You have the director of Snow White and the Huntsman. Just a pitiful film. Just a terrible, terrible movie. You know, having that director handle such a big project like a Ghost in the Shell, just a bad idea, Hollywood. Bad idea. But this, I'm getting a little hope, because it was not only a financial success, but also a critical success. People like this movie. It is a highly regarded film, and having a director like that tackling on something like Attack on Titan is big. It is very, very... It's great. I'm excited. I'm excited for an anime live action. And this is hot off the heels of My Hero Academia, the film for that being announced. And I'm curious if any of these things have anything to do with each other. I'm curious if this studio announced that this is going to be happening, so then like this studio feels the optimism around the idea of anime films being popular again, or anime films actually being a thing. They were never really popular, and I feel like they've like, okay, let's greenlight it. You know what? Let's do it. We have a director. Let's announce this thing, and let's get people excited about it. And I don't know about you guys, but I kind of am. I think that this could be something actually worth watching and actually worth talking about. Not only because of the It director, but when you have the It director on something, again, it tells me that this is not just a cash grab. This is not, I mean, it is. All films are cash grabs, but it's a serious cash grab. It's not just about that. They want to make a good movie because I feel like studios are starting to realize that good movies make more money at the box office. Transformers, people are not really liking it anymore. Look at The Last Night. It did pitiful at the box office. Compared to that budget, just awful. And I feel like studios are starting to understand, okay, people actually like to go see good movies. When you see a 90 plus on Rotten Tomatoes, that helps the box office. That makes people go see this movie. And when it has a 50 or a 40 or a 30 in case of The Last Night, people are less likely to go see it. So now I'm starting to see these studios grabbing films with risk attached to them. Let's get real. Attack on Titan is a risk in any box office in any country because it is a tremendous film to handle. I mean, look at the weight that Attack on Titan has in terms of just scale. I mean, it is just a big movie, and that's no pun intended. Not just talking about giant titans, but just the story here, the world here. How is this going to play out? Think of the production here. It's massive, and to see that Hollywood's realizing, okay, let's not grab a crappy director that's directed two films, both did poor at the box office and poor critically, have him tackle this gigantic movie that could be a huge franchise for our studio. Instead, let's grab a good director to lead this franchise. You know, Attack on Titan, that's not just one movie, guys. We're talking about a trilogy at the very least. At least that's what I'm thinking that the studio is thinking. That's got to be what they're thinking. It could be a brand, because that's the thing. You know, in our circle, you know, when we're talking about Attack on Titan and My Hero Academia, we're thinking it's just so popular. We're thinking it's such a huge huge property. It is not. It really isn't. There aren't that many people watching this series. There are not that many people reading the manga, at least not here in the States. It's just not that big. Yes, the My Hero Academia anime film did pretty well here. Pretty well, considering that it's an anime film. It did pitifully compared to any other release, honestly. It did like nothing compared to the releases that were happening around that time in the summer too. So yeah, that's got to be something that the studio has to take into account. They need to build a brand and make this something that looks acceptable to more than just the anime fans and the manga fans, to a general, wide, huge audience. And grabbing directors like the dude from It is a good idea. That's the way to make it happen, is not only just make a movie that looks cool, but actually is cool. So yes, I'm excited for the Attack on Titan movie. I know I've just rambled on here, but I think it could work. I truly do. It's going to be weird. It's going to be really weird to see how this thing goes into effect. I mean, you and I both know there already is an Attack on Titan live action film. I believe it's terrible. I haven't seen it myself. I've heard it's terrible. So it's going to be interesting kind of springing off board of that. But in terms of just production alone, I have to believe that the studio is taking this serious because of this director. I don't think, this director is not beholden to trash. He definitely wants to make a good movie. So I'm thinking it's going to look good. I'm thinking that they're doing something good in terms of special effects, in terms of production. This is going to be a big, beefy movie with a big, beefy budget. And I think the director has earned that budget with It, which doesn't have that big of a budget, and like quadrupled its budget just in the weekend alone. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see Attack on Titan realized in live action with not poor special effects, not poor acting, not just characters cosplaying and running around pretending to be Attack on Titan characters, but actual actors attached to the film. Actual, real, good, top-notch special effects. Stuff like that. That's kind of... We haven't seen that. We've never really seen that in any anime film. That just hasn't really happened. I mean, Ghost in the Shell, kind of, but that hardly even resembles Ghost in the Shell at all. So it's going to be really, really fun following this movie, and I'm going to be doing it. That's what Fumencho does. I've done it with Ghost in the Shell, I've done it with Death Note, and I'm going to be doing it with My Hero Academia and Attack on Titan. So make sure to subscribe for more updates on these films as we go along. Very early stages though. We're talking like they're just now talking about these movies even happening. I don't expect this to go into production until the very end of next year at the very least. So it'll be a little while before we talk about it more, but I'm sure there'll be some little snippets here and there. So yeah, keep in touch for that kind of stuff. Make sure to comment down below and give me your thoughts on the idea of an Attack on Titan live action film here in the States, guys. Who do you cast as Eren? Who do you cast as Mikasa? I don't even think that's worth a conversation, to be honest. What do you think of this director? Do you think that he can make this work? He has a horror background. He's directed It. It's a scary movie. I think that's kind of good. We saw what Doctor Strange became. That's Scott Derrickson. That dude came from Sinister, and then he directed this. We saw what James Wan's doing right now with Aquaman. He directed so many horror movies. Saw, he directed Insidious, and now he's doing Aquaman, and that actually looks kind of decent. So I like this idea of horror directors kind of stepping out and doing something a little bigger and a little grander. But Attack on Titan, as you may know, is a little creepy. It is a little frightening and scary, and that makes me kind of curious, is the studio really ready to give this an R rating? That adds risk on risk, and that's even more crazy. Just a big budget R-rated film is already a risk. Not only that, but also tacking on the idea of a franchise that not many people know about. Again, me and you know about, but Martha down the street doesn't. So it's going to be interesting. It truly is. I'm really, really curious how serious and how much they're willing to kind of take a dip in the pool with this film. So yeah, again, make sure to comment down below. Give me your thoughts on all those things. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. して